Right now, Wisconsin's new legislative map's taking local politicians into new territory as two state Senate candidates meet with their new constituents in Dane County today.
It's cooling off out here on the patio. We have one more night of frost, then a warm-up. How long those warm temperatures stick around, I have the answer.
And later, Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf gives an update on the upcoming election, what the latest numbers are showing compared to 2020. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 6. Many of Wisconsin's down-ballot races are literally in new territory this time around. New legislative maps drawn in February by Governor Tony Evers. It's led to more incumbents and first-time candidates getting out and meeting all of their new constituents, like the two women running to be 14th District Senator. Armand Rahman takes to a forum today between the two in Lodi.
This was the second time constituents got to hear from the candidates running to represent them in Wisconsin's new 14th Senate District.
If you're in the same room with a person, you get more of a feeling for the kind of person they are.
Lodi resident Mary Ellen Rouge came to the forum with her own feelings about incumbent Republican Senator Joan Baldwin.
Part of her record is she voted no on contraception. She voted no on abortion, even in a case where a woman's health is at risk.
Abortion access was brought up early on at the forum Wednesday by a Lodi high school senior. Kieski doubled down on her pro-choice stance.
I want to make sure that people have the right to make choices over their body and to make choices over their health care.
Baldwin has gone on record as anti-abortion and against changing the law to include exceptions for rape or incest. She said women's health was still at the heart of the issue.
Before you get to the abortion, first of all, I totally agree that women should be participating or using whatever type of contraception processes that they are comfortable with.
This is the first election candidates have to study a whole new level of geography, the change in legislative maps. In the span of a year, they now have to connect with voters in more of Columbia, Adams, Vernon, Juneau, Dodge, and Dane counties.
A challenge that the work that I've done for the past 4 years is not wasted, but 2/3 of the district is changed. But the characteristics of the district are very similar.
Political newcomer Kieski sees it as a way to flip the 50-50 Senate seat that's been Republican for years.
It's an opportunity to really talk to people that maybe haven't heard more of a progressive message.
The Optimist Club and Lodi High School will host another forum for assembly candidates next Wednesday, October 23rd, also at 1 p.m. Reporting in Lodi, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Governor Evers signed those new maps into law back in February after the state Supreme Court declared previous maps were unconstitutional. Well, today is the last day to register to vote online or by mail. Anyone who has moved, even to a new apartment in the same building, has to re-register. If you don't register online, though, you can still do so in person at absentee voting sites. They'll be open for voting on Tuesday and then closed November 1st. You can also register on Election Day right there at your polling place. In that case, you will need to bring proof of residency. You can check your registration at myvote.wi.gov. Earlier today, Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf answering some questions on the upcoming election. According to Wolf, there are at least 78 drop boxes in use across the state. However, that number could be much higher since municipalities and clerks are not required to report drop box locations to the WEC. In 2020, there were roughly 500 of them in use. There were also many additional drop boxes in use during elections prior to 2020. Wolf also encourages those questioning how the process works to get involved.
You can observe elections at any of the thousands of polling places around the state. You can even observe things like the pre-election tests of voting equipment that happen in each jurisdiction, the tally of absentee ballots, and even the audits that happen after Election Day. All of these things are happening in every community across the state. It's all publicly noticed and publicly observable.
As for absentee voting in the state, there have been more than 562,000 absentee ballots requested from clerks. Nearly 240,000 of those ballots have already been returned. That's down quite a bit from 2020 during the pandemic, when more than 1.3 million ballots were requested. More than 700,000 had already been returned. Vice President Kamala Harris returning to Wisconsin tonight as she gets ready to make several campaign stops. The vice president expected to speak in Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay tomorrow. So far, there are no further details on times and exact locations. This will be her 6th visit to Wisconsin since becoming the presidential nominee. Meanwhile, the vice president sitting down for an interview with Fox News today as she tries to reach Republican voters who aren't sold on former President Donald Trump. Former President Obama scheduled a campaign in Madison next week for the Harris Walz ticket. He'll join VP nominee, the Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Tuesday. That's the same day early voting opens here in Wisconsin. campaign has not announced the time or location. This visit comes after First Lady Jill Biden made a stop right here in Madison on Monday. Meanwhile, Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde will be hosting a campaign cookout and a concert tonight. It'll be at the Five Bridges Farm in Oregon at 6:30. He'll be joined by Louisiana Senator John Kennedy and Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Attendance is free. And speaking of Hovde, how he and Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin will be facing off in their only debate, and that'll be coming up on Friday. WISC-TV 3 will air the debate on Television Wisconsin Digital Channel 3-2, and a live stream will be over on channel3000.com. The debate begins at 7 p.m. It's expected to last 1 hour. Prior to the debate, News 3 Now's Will Keneally will host a 30-minute pre-debate special at 6:30 p.m. on both TW and channel3000.com, and will also host a post-debate special airing only online. Another day of chilly temperatures, but it felt pretty good today as the sun came out, warmed up a bit. Here's Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington.
Hey, Eric, yeah, it did. With the sun outside, it overall was very comfortable across southern Wisconsin with light winds. Temperatures got into the 50s today, but I have to say, I forgot my Channel 3 jacket today, and it is a little bit on the chilly side now that the sun is setting. We do have another possibility of having frost widespread across southern Wisconsin. Not a hard freeze like we saw last night, but with temperatures in the low to mid 30s, do not be surprised to see frost as you wake up to Thursday morning. But then the other dots that you see here, those are low temperatures going on into next week, 40s to near 50 degrees for low temperature, so no chances for frost once we get past tonight. There you see our temperature ride that we had today. We got all the way down to about 30 here in Madison, climbed up to 55, and now we're back down to approximately 50 degrees, and the temperature will continue to fall as we carry forth through this evening. 50 are common numbers across all of southern Wisconsin. As you see with our sky cams, we've got clear skies, and that is recipe for frost, to have clear skies, light winds, and especially in those low-lying areas. 50 in Madison, 57 still to the west in Cross Plains, and some of our other temperatures in southern Wisconsin, 52 in Mineral Point, 54 in Camp Douglas, 51 in Watertown. As we plan the rest of the evening tonight, we're already a little bit cooler than our weather models are predicting. Temperatures, I'm going to go for a walk after the 6 o'clock show, and I'm going to have to bundle up just a bit. I'm still acclimating, like we all are, to these temperatures, but I won't have to acclimate to cool temperatures for very long. We have 70s back in the forecast, and how long those 70s stick around, we'll talk about that in Maine Weather.
Alex, thank you. The Rock County Sheriff's Office investigating a death in Milton Township. At 9:30 on Sunday morning, deputies responded to public hunting grounds on North Pine Road for suspicious activity. When they arrived, deputies talked to a hunter who found human skeletal remains in the area. The sheriff's office says the identity of that person is not yet known and that there's no immediate threat to the public. The sheriff says he will provide more information at a later date. And the Wisconsin Department of Justice confirming a Roxbury man who's been missing since September is dead now. The details of where and when 65-year-old Timothy James Campbell were found not yet available. Campbell originally left his group home on Loper Road in Roxbury about 6:30 the night of September 21st. And the news comes a day after the Dane County Sheriff's Office announced it's investigating human remains found over the weekend. On Sunday, a hunter finding the remains in the area of County Highway Y at Loper Road in the town of Roxbury. An autopsy is complete, but the medical examiner has not officially released yet that individual's identity. Madison Fire Department says no one is hurt after a dryer fire at a home on the city's east side. Crews were called to the 5100 block of Openwood Way just after 7:15 last night. Firefighters arrived to find a slight haze in the air and the smell of burning rubber. They put out the fire before unplugging the dryer and bringing it outside. The homeowners say they had placed dry pillows in the dryer and were using the highest heat setting to sanitize the pillows before the fire broke out. No one was hurt, but the laundry area did sustain some smoke and soot damage. Farmers in our state were giving away thousands of chickens following the closure of an out-of-state poultry company. Pure Prairie Poultry in Iowa raises chickens for farmers in Wisconsin. And last month, the company tried to file for bankruptcy, but it was denied. The plant closed. Farmers say they can't sell their birds because they're under contract, so now they have to give them away, asking for a small donation in return. Senator Tammy Baldwin is stepping in with a statement from the senator reading in part, quote, "Our agricultural industry is the beating heart of many of our communities and is the face of this dire situation. I'm calling on USDA to do everything it can for these Wisconsin farmers who now stare down financial ruin through no fault of their own." An investigation is underway after Wisconsin suburbs tornado siren malfunctioned. Ozaukee County Emergency Management posting on Facebook yesterday that the city's sirens going off at 9 a.m. and around 2 p.m. were errors. This is in the Milwaukee area. The Port Washington Police Department even alerted residents to stop calling dispatchers as the city worked to fix the problem.
Nothing really exciting happens in Port Washington, so I was like, huh, what's going on? I mean, we're a pretty quiet town. And so a little noise goes a long way around here.
I love Port Washington. No word, though, on what caused those sirens to go off. And coming up, the Codes for Kids campaign preparing to distribute all of the donations soon. We want to let you know how you can help out with that distribution. Plus, jamming out for a good cause, where you can go this weekend to rock out and help fight cancer. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
A truck crash can be life-changing. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. We have a powerful team with the knowledge, resources, and history of results you'll need. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Career politicians like Peter Barca will say anything to get elected. His latest negative ad against Brian Style, it's been called blatantly false. The truth, Style has always supported IVF. He co-sponsored a resolution supporting IVF. And Style backs legislation to help families afford IVF. Peter Barca can sling mud, but we deserve better than just another lying career politician.
I'm Brian Style, and I approve this message.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
The final sprint to Election Day is on, and News 3 Now this morning is focused on the races and the policies that matter to you, the voter.
We're taking a look at both sides of the issues and where the candidates stand so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. This weekend, you can participate in an event raising money to fight cancer. The 9th annual Jammin' for a Slammin' Cancer takes place at 8 o'clock Saturday morning at the Red Mouse in Cross Plains. The Jimmys and John Solis will be playing music there, a $20 cover charge. The event CEO says he started hosting the yearly fundraiser because of his own family's struggles against cancer.
It's a good gathering event feature to people just to come out, have a good time, and bring friends, family out, and especially if they've been affected by cancer for one way or another, that they can contribute to the cause.
Well, if you can't make it on Saturday, there's another event, Monday, October 21st. That's at 5 o'clock. More information is up at wiscmedicine.org. Well, the Codes for Kids campaign needs volunteers for distribution. Next week, it'll take place October 25th, 9 to 6. At the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County in Fitchburg, also in Madison and Sun Prairie. Volunteers can sign up to help by emailing the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County Volunteer Coordinator, and we have a link to that email at channel3000.com. And still ahead, the Wisconsin Grocers Association looking for its best bagger in the state. Also, the holiday shopping season, can you believe it? It's almost here. It could be a record breaker. What retailers are forecasting in the warmer weather, it's on the way, folks, but just how much will those temperatures go up? Alex with all the answers in his complete forecast.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits?
I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. A Kona concrete repair is a ready-to-use crack filler and sealer. It's durable, flexible, and can be used for interior and exterior applications. A tube is only $1.99 after rebate. Get hot water when you need it with a Richmond 50-gallon Smart Electric water heater. Its Leak Guard technology detects any potential water leaks and sends an alert to your smartphone. Now $599.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
At DePaco, your health and happiness are as important to us as your financial well-being. So when you're ready to take the first step, we'll help you make a plan and transform it into a lifelong commitment. Well-being is the key to a life worth loving. So when you think about yours, remember that DePaco can help you be well.
Brian Stiles says he's proud of his Extreme record. Extreme is one to gut Social Security and Medicare, cut benefits for seniors, and raise the retirement age. Stiles proud to join them. And they push to ban abortion in Wisconsin, restrict birth control, and monitor pregnancies to prosecute women. Brian Stiles proud to be backed by them. Peter Barca is proud to put Wisconsin over party.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Retailers expect another holiday spending record, but sales will grow at a slower pace. The National Retail Federation says consumers will spend between $980 and $990 billion in November and December, with sales growth between 2.5% and 3.5%, slightly lower than last year's holiday growth of 3.9%. Catherine Cullen, the Vice President of Industry and Consumer Insights for NRF, says growth is more in line with pre-pandemic levels because consumers have other outlets for spending.
Spending on travel, they're spending on dining out, as well as other services in their lives. And as a result, they're moderating their spending on goods. They're returning to how they used to spend on things like apparel, on home goods.
Other factors include lingering inflation fatigue and a shorter span this year between Thanksgiving and Christmas, just 26 days. Well, you might have the chance to see a comet in the next few days. The comet C-2023A3 has an 80,000-year orbit around the solar system. Last Saturday about noon, it was the closest it'll get to our planet. Over the past week, it's become visible about an hour after sunset just above the horizon near the constellation Virgo. The comet should be visible in the western night sky through next Monday, and after that, it won't be visible for another 80,000 years. So will the skies be clear enough to see it? Alex is back with the complete forecast.
Eric, indeed they will. Well, let's take a look at our Dodgeville sky cam right now. We're actually looking west, southwest, and don't see any evidence right now of the comet, but I do want to take a moment to at least talk a little bit about what the best viewing opportunities are for you. As you said, look west, southwest. Venus will eventually be apparent in that southwestern sky, and then look to the right of Venus. That's going to be between about 6:50 and 7:20 p.m. So we got a ways to go for that, but with clear skies tonight, it'll be perfect viewing yet to see the comet. Found out from our friend Blaze Keller that if you set your exposure to 3 seconds and put it on that night setting, you might even be able to get a good photo of the comet as well. With clear skies, this will mean a night for frost, and that's the last night for frost for a while. 70s are going to be back this weekend, and I'm going to show you in this forecast how long those 70s are going to stick around. Well, and we've seen this before plenty of times in the 3 things you need to know. Not a lot of rain, unfortunately, in the forecast. One more night of frost. Frost is likely tonight, especially in those low-lying areas. I'll talk about that in just a minute, some of the ingredients you need for frost. Then, as I was mentioning before in first weather, our low temperatures are going to rise considerably, making frost unlikely by the time we get into Thursday night and beyond. You need a clear night, which is good for comets and celestial viewings. calm winds and open and low-lying areas. Let's see if our temperatures respond this way according to our weather models. We'll do 34 in Madison, 33 in Lone Rock. The Wisconsin River Valley has a tendency to cool down a little bit. Maybe Prairie du Sac, see this blue area here over southeastern portion of Sauk County might cool down just a little bit more into the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees. So those low-lying areas are susceptible for frost yet. One more night tonight, and then those temperatures will start to warm. With breezy conditions, we'll have winds coming out of the south and southwest. We'll see those temperatures go into the low, middle 60s. 65 seems to be popular in La Crosse and Prairie du Chien and Lone Rock, the rest of southern Wisconsin. 63 in Madison, 63 in Monroe, and 64 to the north in Baraboo and in Janesville. 7-day forecast here showing sunny skies sticking around all the way to the weekend. Here's my promise of 70, 73 degrees as we go Saturday on into Sunday. We'll keep the 70s in the forecast Monday, going on into Tuesday as well. Cold front comes through here, just slight chances for showers, 20% coverage if that. Then behind that weather system, and again, it's not looking like a strong weather system, we go down to 60 degrees on Wednesday next week, 60 on Thursday, near 60 on Friday. Those temperatures are actually above normal by about 5 degrees. So even though it's colder, our whole 10-day forecast, I mentioned earlier, how long is this warm weather going to stick around? It's going to stick around above normal temperatures all the way through the next 10 days.
Alex, thank you. The competition was fierce for the Wisconsin Grocers Association Great Wisconsin Bag Off taking place at Madison Marriott West. The Grocers Association holding the event to find who the best bagger in the state is. And it's clear that the winner then will be flown out to the national competition. The competition there is for 10 grand. WGA President CEO Michael Semman talked with our Kyle Pozorski about why they hold such an event.
This helps highlight and celebrate the people that help serve the community and make sure that a smile is on their face and the people's faces in the store so that they can go home and have a great meal.
Well, the competitors were judged on several different criteria, including weight distribution, bag build, as well as style, attitude, and appearance. This year's winner was Paul Dow, a bagger at Sendik's Food Markets. Meanwhile, while over in Newry, Maine, a Wisconsin couple put their love to the test in the North American Wife Carrying Championship. We've seen this before through the years. Husbands run through an obstacle course as quickly as possible, carrying their wives the entire time. Caleb and Justine Ressler of Waukesha managed the course in 37.88 seconds. That is for first prize. The couple won 7 cases of beer, as well as 5 times Justine's weight in cash. Well, that's about $510. We're back with sports after a short break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
We know we cannot have a strong middle class without American manufacturing. Under Donald Trump, America lost nearly 200,000 manufacturing jobs. His record is a disaster for working people. Under my plan, we will invest in the industries that built America, because ours is a fight for the future. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
We wanted to be able to enjoy all 4 seasons, and patio enclosures helped us make that dream come true.
The one and only patio enclosures.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Sometimes the smallest cracks can cause the biggest chills. This fall, watch out for the draft.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Last week, Purdue was no match for Wisconsin. Offensively, the Badgers bludgeoned the Boilermakers, and there was one performance that very clearly stood out from the rest. We're talking about Tretch Kekahuna, and they tried to warn us.
Tretch is a guy that, I mean, everything he does it really, really fast within the phone booth.
It sounds like Purdue wasn't listening. Third quarter, it's a short pass to Tretch, and he is running a Phil Longo way. But in the words of the great DJ Khaled, he would have another one. But I'm not so sure what part was better. The catch where he surfed on the secondary, or the celly looking like stone cold Steve Austin. Non-alcoholic, of course. Kekahuna said aloha from the end zone twice.
You want to see me do it again?
And the man from Hawaii capped off a career day with 6 catches for 134 yards. And we say mahalo for a performance that's worthy of this week's Beast of the Week.
And don't forget to check out this week's Wisconsin Huddle. Sports Director Zach Henley will sit down with freshman running back Darion Dupree as ahead of Wisconsin's game against the Northwestern Wildcats. The show will air on Friday, 6:30 right here on News 3 Now. It should be a great weekend ahead of us, too. They're going to be down in Evanston on the lake, but it should be pretty good in Chicago area, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Temperatures in the 70s across much of the upper Midwest. So we had the frost chances last night. We have frost chances tonight. Heather sends us this quick photo here showing us the frost right on the top of that building. Notice the clear skies. That's an ingredient that you need for frost. And just scan the QR code if you want to show your photo on air, just like Heather did. Again, we have frost chances tonight. This will be the last chance that we have for frost this week, at least. Temperatures climbing back up into the 60s. There's that nice weather, Eric, this upcoming weekend. 70 on Saturday, 73 on Sunday, and the whole upper Midwest will be experiencing these warm temperatures all the way out into next week. Even that cold front, Monday and Tuesday, slight chance of a shower. Temperatures are still going to be around 60 Wednesday and Thursday of next week. We could have a little frost on those 2 mornings, but all in all, 10 days, all above normal.
We've had some great pictures from folks, too.
Yes.
The Aurora Borealis last week, that picture. We'll see if we get some comet photos as well. Alex, thanks. Have a great night, folks.